Okay, what are you trying to say, David?
I was trying to
Please project our computer while we do our intro first.
actually.
Oh.
Okay. Welcome to the final round of energy debates.
Door.
The teams who won round 1 and 2 shall compete. Over here we have solar power, and over here we have tidal power. May the best one win.
Boys and girls, solar energy keeps us alive. It's always producing energy in many different ways. There's no pollution. It's only doing good for the environment. Everyone should use it. The only thing that's stopping us is the pollution in the air, which is not the sun's fault. Here are some of the reasons this energy. Here are some of the reasons this is the energy you should pick. Make the percentage of people using solar energy rise. One awesome thing about our energy it will never stop. The sun will rise every day and produce energy every day. It will be one of the energies that will never run out. It will be everlasting. There are so many ways you can experiment with solar energy. There are so many solar panels in the making that will blow your mind. They're able to do anything that has to do with solar power. Heat your house, light your house, charge your laptop, and most importantly, you can do all this with just a flip of the switch. The prices are dropping. The sun is free, and solar panels are 50 cents a watt. What a deal. How much do you pay for your electric stove? I bet 50 cents a watt is a pretty good deal, right? Well, the prices are dropping even more for solar panels. Soon, it could be 40 cents a watt, and later, 30. There are many different ways that the energy's effects on the environment. But if you are talking about solar energy, then its effects are super, and they give off no pollution. It's only doing an A+ to the environment. How awesome is that? And these are the awesome ways of solar energy, everyone. Done.
Tidal and current power is the best energy source. There are a lot of reasons why, and we will give you 4 right now. Our energy source will go on forever. It is perpetual, which means it will always go on with us not doing anything because the tides are constantly moving. There is a low cost in the long run. There are only 2 major expenses, and they are the building of it and the maintenance. Tidal energy power plants are super reliable. They can last 100 years before you need to get a new one. Finally, tidal energy doesn't pollute, unlike a lot of big-name energy sources. And also, it doesn't emit CO2, which is something that a lot of people are trying to get rid of. Done.
Very good. So, Ocean, you get to decide if you would like to do your arguments first or second.
We'll go second.
Okay. So, solar is up.
Your energy can really affect the marine life all around wherever you put them. And the dams that you put, if you do put those, they also block off the ways that the fish need to swim. And we have a salon.
Wait, say done if you're done.
Done.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're on his team. I apologize. I made you say done. Okay. I thought the other team was starting beforehand.
Okay, so the turbines are killing sea life. You always said that there are people working on the turbines, so they have gates so that they don't kill the sea life. But while they are in development, there are still fish dying. They'll be harmed. They'd be harmed or their habitats will be disrupted or displaced by the operation of the devices or the mooring of the devices. And we found this picture, and it says, you're killing Nemo and his friends. Just saying. So, done.
Right, thank you.
Oh, okay. Sure, it does kill sea animals and marine life, but it doesn't do any pollute. It doesn't pollute. It doesn't do any other bad environmental effects to the environment. It doesn't emit any pollution.
That's the introduction, and also,
They are in development.
yeah, we said, even if the cages can still, the dams can still harm fish, we've said in earlier debates that the scientists are working on new ways to protect the sea life. Done. Okay, so when you get a solar panel, you have to get your roof upgraded, and that usually costs a lot of money depending on the size of your roof. And so many people might not want to do that just to get the energy.
Yes, and so some roofs aren't strong enough to hold the solar panels. So with the cost of the solar panels, you even have to upgrade your roof to get it stronger to hold the heavy solar.
Done?
They might have to do that on some roofs occasionally, but solar panels can be installed on top of many rooftops, which eliminates the problem of finding required space for solar panels, unlike your energy turbines that have to be placed somewhere and take up the space. Ours can just go on top of somebody's roof, which is a big space saver.
Yeah.
Done.
Your argument, kiddos? Judges, you're writing down your notes or your tallies, yes?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So your energy source can be really noisy. And since the wave current can be noisy, it adds just another, it makes it significantly louder. That it's louder than the waves on its own. And so yeah.
We also found a video that it, in one place in Alaska that actually could be pretty dangerous for the orcas that live there. The orcas that live there, because it could mess up something in their hearing, and then it would be hard to find their way back to that spot the next year in their migration. And yeah, it could really harm them too, and it's really noisy for other people.
Done?
Done.
Thanks.
Okay, so usually almost all of them are far off the coast, so it's not
Yeah.
necessarily.
Yeah, it has to be
It
a certain
doesn't
depth
even-
of water to work.
It doesn't disrupt, it doesn't really disrupt humans. I mean, it could disrupt, I guess it could disrupt, animals, but we've looked for, when we've looked for defenses and, we've never found anything about
Yeah, we
the
didn't
noise.
find anything about noise.
It might be true,
It
but
could
we
be
just
true
don't know.
though. It could be true, but we have not found anything.
Done? Kind of same.
It is difficult to take care of the panels because there are certain requirements that need to be possible so they can work right. You need to clean them with cold water and there are possible damage as well cleaning. You need to clean it at dusk or dawn with cold water on cold panels. If they're not cold panels or hot panels, they will break and crack.
We,
Wait, but tell me what the timer was. Is that for real?
No,
Or no?
No. They stopped it, but
Okay. Are you still going, or
Yeah.
We no, we can't.
you have technology? So we're supposed to pause the timer when we use technology. So
Oh.
okay.
Yeah, well, we were just saying, because, yeah, when you get a solar panel, you have to, take a certain, like, a really good care of it, and you have to have certain requirements, and those need to be possible so that they can work right. And then these are, like, just some of the things that you need to do. And it also says that there can be possible damages while cleaning, and that's not very good because that means that it's not very efficient when the solar panels aren't very efficient when cleaning. Done.
So I've never heard of you having to clean the solar panels. The only thing that I've ever heard of is it's being stopped by the pollution in the air, which is not our fault. And if you use ours, then there'd be no pollution in the air, and that might be why you need to clean it. And so if you use solar power, then that wouldn't be an issue. I don't believe.
Also, to add to that, like I've never heard of that before, and if the solar panels are getting damaged, that kind of sounds like they aren't cleaning them right, because they all are pretty efficient.
And you don't have to clean them that off. I mean, the only thing that's stopping us is the pollution in the air, which
And it
isn't
sounds
our
like they're cleaning
fault.
them wrong. So if they're
If
breaking,
if they're breaking, I mean, done.
Your argument, guys.
Quite often, wave energy plants are built in areas which are remote and far from the grid, and at the same away from the need for electricity. This makes it connection into the grid expensive and difficult because you're not getting as much as you could because of the certain spots you need to put it in. And you've even said it's far away, which makes it harder to harness the energy. Done.
Well, even if, like, I guess you could say, like, when it's landlocked, but it, might not be able, like, for landlocked states to, use this type of energy, but,
It is hard. It is hard to get it there, but you can still get the energy to your house. It's just hard. It's just harder.
like, I guess you could say it would make it less.
This type of energy is working for France, and it has kind of similar, like almost similar coastal lines.
And
To the US.
France is using it very widely.
Very
actually.
widely. Done.
And we have a slide up. I did.
Oh wait, I'm on the right one.
Mm-hmm.
So they say that 50 cents a watt is cheap and a good deal, but we looked up and the average solar panel has 60 watts on it. So basically, if you want one panel on your roof, that's $300. So if you want like 24 panels, that's gonna add up to a lot of money. So I mean, seriously, if you want to have solar power, it's an expensive way to get energy.
Because 1 watt is actually
Very,
very
very
small.
Very small. You can't run your house on a watt.
Yeah.
Wait, they didn't say done yet.
Done.
So I
Okay. Maybe they did. I didn't hear it. Okay, sorry.
You can get a loan for your solar panels and systems, and like we said in our intro, the prices are dropping as well. and so you can get the loan from the government to get you to use your solar panels. And yeah.
Just from the day before they have sun so they can be
Like they're in development and they're getting even better and better. And so I mean, if it's getting like one of the best, if it's becoming one of the best things to use, and then you can get a loan from the government, I think that's pretty good. Dun, dun.
So, as the turbines are spinning, there's a likelihood of the water rising, the water level rising. We have a slide for that. The ocean level can be changed by the turbines in the water and make the water rise. The turbines are spitting up the water, which is also making it worse. So, yeah, it can make the water really, really high.
Like if your house is on the beach, then you're getting less and less beach. If you're near one of the turbines, because it's making the water rise.
That is because it could cause, if your house is on the beach, it could cause flooding and damaging. So it's not good.
Yeah.
Water levels rising. So. Done.
So, you know that when there's a house on the beach, I mean, there's always land that's higher up, so there's a very small likelihood that the water's actually going to rise high enough up to get to the house.
Get to the house.
And they're far in. They're not, like, right on the coastline.
And if you do have your house on the coast and you're using tidal and current power, you're going to get a lot of energy because it's not being shipped as far.
And it'll be really easy to like get to your house.
Done.
Okay. Sure, your energy produces free, clean energy, but few people ever stop and think about the production of the panels themselves. How bad is it? The production of solar panels has a dark side as well. The manufacturing of solar cells requires huge quantities of fossil fuels, and much like with other electronics, there are waste metals which are produced during production and are currently presenting disposal problems. Some of these metals include mercury.
And also, we actually talked about this in one of our science units. You can get mercury poison and you can die from it. So that kind of sounds as if you can almost die from the metals in solar panels.
And it said fossil fuels. That you guys use fossil fuels in the production of your energy. And soon we'll run out of fossil fuels.
We've never heard of fossil fuels being used to make them, but we have heard of chemicals that are being used to make them. But they keep those very contained at a safe level also.
Yeah, and think about like even though they do give off pollution in the beginning when they're like building them, but think about how much energy, it gets kept contained, but like think about how much energy it's actually giving off once it's made. And for these major, like these giant solar power plants, like they're giving off so much energy, and I think it's a little bit worth it because you're getting so much energy for.
And we've never heard of the fossil fuels, and we've heard them the chemicals being kept contained. Done.
got to be louder, sweetheart. Start over and be louder, please. I can't hear you.
There are relatively few commercial installations as compared to other technologies such as wind and solar farms. As such, additional difficulties in implanting these devices could arise.
You have to explain that because I don't understand.
What she's trying, we're saying is that there are
This is on my time. It's
there are
okay.
specific spots for them, and they're very few.
For what? For the
Like
tidal
implant.
power things?
Yeah, there's very few tidal power plants implanted
Uh-huh.
here, and like commercially and stuff.
Yeah,
and that
it's not.
and they're very hot. They're
When we-
like they need a certain spot.
When we were
And-
doing our intro, there was a picture that we found online that was like a news segment saying that like solar farms can help schools, and what this is trying to say is like that it doesn't, ocean and tidal power doesn't have many like commercial like
That could help.
that could help them get more buyers and
Okay. All right. Let them respond, please. Thanks.
Okay.
Well, it's not entirely true because as long as the water is deep enough, you can really place it anywhere.
But you might get less efficient.
It might not be as efficient, but you can place it wherever there's deep enough water.
And you guys are also sort of talking about like people usage, and France is using it widely,
Yeah.
and
France-
England has been looking into it.
Yeah.
very
So if those countries can't use it as much, why can't we? Like, done.
Okay, kiddos, figure out your last two arguments.
Okay.
We took a bunch.
Can we go or?
Sure.
Okay.
We figured it out.
Oh, you can turn this off.
Okay. The production of solar panels also requires the use of other rare metals, including tellurium. This is a byproduct from mined copper and is mostly found in high concentrations in Mexico and China. There has been ongoing debate on environmentalists and scientists regarding whether the supply of tellurium will be able to meet the ever-growing needs of solar cell production industry. So that kind of means like they're debating against if it's like if it's really dangerous.
Like,
Like
got enough of it to keep the need of solar panels.
so basically that part is saying like if it's dangerous then they might have to not use the solar panels anymore because that's what they need in the solar panels. So, and also it says it is currently second only to gold in terms of its rarity, and consumption has been rising steadily over the past 10 years or so, so that is,
Okay. Don't respond to the dangerous part, respond to the lack of it part. Because the dangerous part, I think, was misunderstood. The running out part. Right? You might run out of tellurium.
I'm not sure of the amount of tellurium use. I really haven't heard of
Stefan,
that.
can you get that, please? You're the closest. Hurry, hurry.
But I don't think they use. I'm really not sure. I've never heard of them using it. I mean, they could use it, but I've never heard of it in the making. I've just heard of chemicals that are contained. That's the only thing.
All right.
Okay, done.
Yeah, you can. Whoever's doing it. Yeah, you can.
Yep, thanks,
If you could turn on the projector. Turn on the projector.
Which is a good time because you're not in the debate.
All right. They're very expensive to
We'll
build.
have it on video so you can see what it's
The overall process of building can be pretty expensive. Wave power is very early stages of development, which makes speculating in cost harder. Wave resources connections to power grids, and lifespan of the technology are just a few factors that result in different costs for different projects. Of these factors, the lifespan is most uncertain one, since there is relatively few technologies and are lacking data on how long these wave power inventions realistically can operate, which basically means that they're very expensive to build, and people aren't even really sure how long they really last because so few are implanted.
Yeah, they're uncertain to use it because they don't know how long it's going to last, and it's not worth all the money that you have to spend if it's just going to not give you energy for a long period of time.
And even if there's very few maintenance, this still costs a pretty penny when you're buying it. Yeah. Done.
Okay. So the turbines and dams might cost a large amount of money to install, but after that, they're installed, then there's no cost at all, and the turbines are very reliable. They actually last 100 years before you have to replace them.
So that's pretty much saying, I don't know how much you guys, how much they, cost, but it lasts 100 years before you have to get a new one, and those are the only two costs.
The maintenance costs are even pretty low. Compared.
Done. I think it's ours and then.
Yeah, it's your ours.
Okay.
The last one.
No, we've got one more.
Yeah, they've got one more.
Okay. So then,
Yeah, this is your last one.
And then they have one more.
And I missed it, so that's good that you know it.
okay.
The efficiency of solar energy is very low. There are certain requirements for solar energy to be stored correctly, and they don't always come that easily. Also, the weather can damage solar cells and make them less efficient.
So if you have, it looks like saying if there's any weather problems,
Could make them less
that
efficient.
makes them less efficient. If they're not, if they don't meet the certain requirements, that could make them less efficient. And what if that can happen more than once, then it's barely going to be efficient at all.
Yeah. If you keep going, if the weather keeps making it less and less and less efficient, then that will mean that after a while you'll barely have any efficiency at all.
Done.
I don't think I've ever heard of weather being a problem. I mean, of course it is a problem, but not being a major problem.
And plus, with the thing with the loans that we said, when you said it costs a lot, you can get loans from the government. I think you can just get another one of those, and they get rid of your other one, and then and then you just get another loan, another solar panel if it gets really bad. And there's also new solar panels in development, like we said, that can store overnight and stuff like that.
And to add to that, there are in development, but they're in the last debate we said that there were some in development, but there are some out. They're just the ones in the development they're trying to make as efficient as the ones that are out. So just making that clear.
Done.
All right, we get a last
It's
argument.
our last argument.
Is it the last one of the debate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
30 seconds.
So, it's very location specific. there's only 20 sites identified with high potential.
And to add to that, if your state is landlocked, then it's harder.
barely
You barely
get
get
any.
any energy. And for these 20 sites, that's not a lot in the entire world. And I don't think a lot of people are using.
I mean, France is probably the most leading one, and then
All right, so it's time.
So you see like all the big cities like LA, Boston, New York, they're all on the coast. That's where we really need energy. That's a high
And you already mentioned both of those.
Yeah, you already.
We've already responded to
And
both
for
of those.
landlocked, it says they don't just have to be in the oceans and seas. They can be like
In the Great
in
Lakes.
the Great Lakes too. So actually, if you think about it, Michigan, Lake Michigan, can use
All of the
tidal
Great
power,
Lakes.
which we're right next to Michigan. So basically, the tidal power is only, I don't know, 45, 50 an hour, minutes away.
And they're trying to get it. They're trying to make more people using it. It's just
And it can be transported all over the country. It's just really hard. It's just a lot harder.
Done.
Okay, so you guys get your 5 minutes in the hallway.
I hope you finally realize why to vote for
Sadie Warning?
and Current Energy. We hope that you vote for us. We would like to point out some of their mistakes. First, they practically said that it was worth it to die for solar energy. Really? Also, you have to pay the loans at some point. You can't just get it for free. Sure, we have flaws too, but we have a lot of pros too. We are perpetual and we don't pollute, unlike the friend next to us when they have to make the solar panels in their factories. And so then also, I mean, if you want a solar farm, it takes up a lot of space. And also, it said on their poster that one solar panel can only power one light bulb for the whole day. And so,
Modern panels.
and modern panels can only do it. So I hope that you guys vote for Tidal and Current Energy and have a good day.
Thank you for listening to our debate. We would want to point out that they said that it does not matter if the fish are dying. So in that case, they are killing endangered fish and don't care. They also said that all of the big cities could use this, but in high efficiency. Well, what about Nashville, Dallas, and possibly Minneapolis? Those are all big cities, and all of them are landlocked, and they're far into the center of the country. They also said that it's not far to transport, but it's even less if it's on your roof. Doesn't that make more sense to vote for solar?
This is Goss. Please call the office. This is Goss. Please call the office.
Wait, we have something. We have something to add. Ready? You know what to do. Okay, I will do it.
But what about Nemo?
I'm done.
All right, in the hallway. All right, so this is the final round of the 2013-14 energy debates. I am President Solars, and I have had my advisory groups working hard for the last month trying to come up with information on what a good energy source would be to power our country for the future. And we have come up with a decision. A large portion of our budget is going to go to ocean energy, tidal and current. Solar, I do plan to invest an awful lot in solar as a secondary option for our country.
Oh,
Good job, both of you.
hold on. Before you end the video, I have just received a letter from Congress saying these words: give this to the winning team, Congress. And even if it says top secret on the envelope, I'm going to open it. Tidal Power, the grand prize for winning, you win a check of $1 million! Yay!
Can I have it?
All right, good job, guys. Nobody wants $1 million. I'll take it.
I'll take it.
All right.
$1 million.
Good job, kiddos.
Videotaping?